It's my pleasure to join you this afternoon and to share with you some thoughts around why quality of experience is important to digital objectives and connectivity objectives, and how Opensignal's data can help policymakers, regulators and operators to achieve those digital objectives. A little bit about Opensignal first. So we're a global company. We provide qualitative experience data in over 118 countries, operators, and in over 50 countries. And we provide billions of data to operators, policymakers, and regulators to help them make decisions. And we provide a lot of analysis and reports and that we have published. Last year we published over 225, and that's something which we're doing to contribute to the global objectives around digitalisation. Opensignal is a quality of experience data measurement company. We provide and collect data for measuring the end-to-end customer experience. So when you're using your mobile phone, wherever you are, if there's a network and we're collecting data, we're gathering your experience when using that mobile phone. And that can be over any network, especially when we're looking at 4G, 5G, and into the future, 6G. And we're collecting data. So when you're using your mobile phone to contact your family and friends at home, we gather that data, the experience that you have on your when you're doing that. When you're booking your plane tickets to travel to India on an application, we're gathering that data. When you're making payments over your banking app or your payment app, the experience is being measured. When you're watching videos of the latest test match or football match, we're measuring the experience that you have when you're either watching that video live or whether you're watching that video through streaming. And gaming, yesterday I heard the president of esports talk. And so when people are gaming and doing esports, we measure that experience as well. And that data is then collated and analysed and then provided to our customers, whether they're policymakers, regulators and operators, to give the real customer experience. So how we measure that network experience, that quality of experience. You may, when people talk to me, they say, oh, I have that app where I do a test of the experience. And that's only one part of it. It's actually a very small part of what we and how we collect the data. We collect the data through when you're using applications on your phone and where you're using internet and online services on your phone. So it's a real experience. It's not just when you download and use a test at a time. It's actually measuring your experience all the time. When I'm at events like the ITU, WTSA and other events, I hear a lot about speed. And in the conversations that I've been having over the last 2 days, and a lot of people said, oh, is it about speed? And speed is only one part of it, one part of customer experience. And what Opensignal do is we measure the quality of experience. So we look at the network experience. We have a measure called constant quality. So what is the constant experience when you're living your day and using services over a mobile network, a Wi-Fi network, and in many of our markets also fibre networks as well. And also, what is your specific experience when you're using different applications, whether it is phoning your family over voice, a voice app experience, over the whether it's downloading videos, gaming. We can measure that, and we do measure that experience. We also measure the coverage and reach of the services that you are using at the time, and the availability of that network, and the reliability of that network as well. And that's really important, because this morning when I was trying to enter the conference centre, I had my ITU pass here, but I didn't have my IMC pass. It was on my app on the phone that I've downloaded. But I was having an issue with my network, and I couldn't download the IMC pass. So that created a bit of an issue for me. So I had to go from gate 4 to gate 7. It took me about 25 minutes in the heat to get to the inauguration event this morning. And that's because the network experience was not reliable. It didn't matter about the speed, but I needed a reliable network at that time. And these are the things which really impact people's lives every day. As Opensignal, we have, as I say, customers, whether they're telecoms operators in India and in many other countries. We work very closely with policymakers and regulators around the world as well. And we also provide information when analysts, media are doing their reports on the latest key policy issues, industry, sector issues that they're covering about our sector. I'd just like to spend a bit of time, because we're here at an ITU event which many of the members are governments, regulators, as well as the private sector. Opensignal has a program which is a policymakers and regulatory program, which is really around promoting the importance of quality of experience and working together to develop the standards for quality of experience. And Opensignal's data is very independent, it's trusted, and we work very closely, as I say, with standardisation bodies and regulators and policymakers. And that includes, very importantly, ITUT Study Group 12, which does the standards for quality of service and quality of experience. And Opensignal is a very proud member of ITU Study Group 12, and we work very, very closely with them. We also, as I say, provide data to governments and regulators around when they're thinking about the customer experience and the quality of service when they're making decisions about the sector as part of their digital strategies for the country. And we participate in regulatory and policy dialogues like today. An example of how a regulator and policymaker works with us is in the UK, where I'm from. So Opensignal is very proudly a partner with Ofcom, the UK regulator. Ofcom last month published a report which is about communicating the customer experience over 5G networks. And they use Opensignal data. We give them the data. We provide our analysis. They also analyse it themselves as an independent regulator, and then they publish the report to provide information to customers when they're making decisions about their operators that they use. But also Ofcom use the data when they're making sort of analysis and decisions when they're developing their regulatory program for the UK. And not just Ofcom, we also have worked recently with the Competition Authority in the UK. There's a very important merger which two operators are looking to do and have applied for regulatory approval. And the Competition Authority, as part of their economic and competition analysis, is using quality of experience data from Opensignal. A bit more on ITU. So, as I mentioned, we participate in ITU standardisation. We believe it's very important. It sets the guidelines, particularly with innovation of technology, whether it's been the 4G to 5G to maybe 6G in the future, but also actually the increasing use of services. As I've mentioned, it's now not just about voice and SMS and looking on the internet. There's so much more which we need standards for to measure the customer experience. As I say, when it's for businesses using data services and AI, whether it's customers and civilians using it for their own personal use, whether it's banking, whether it's communicating or enjoying content. And also when it's governments and their digital government programs, whether it's healthcare, education, public service administration, using digital technology and increasing with AI, these services are becoming much more complicated, and that needs the work of people like those who attend ITUT to develop the standards to provide enabling framework and guidance for member states and sector members in the development of products when using networks. So just some concluding remarks before I pause for any questions. We provide data for quality experience, and what we hear when we talk to operators, policymakers, regulators, citizens and customers is that having an excellent network experience, telecoms network experience, is important to them. And having a high quality of experience is not only important to them, it's also important to the broader economy and social objectives of every country, and how digitalisation can support the country's socio-economic objectives. So what we do is we provide data. We collect the data. We have our independent methodology which we use, having developed it with working in the ITUT and other standardisation bodies. And then we provide that data to operators, to policymakers and regulators. And yes, they ask us for their advice, but they also analyse it themselves to come to informed evidence-based decisions when making decisions on their country, their sector and policy regulation, which is important not only to us in the room, but ultimately the consumers and citizens and businesses and the broader economies and societies. This is the first of a couple of things that Opensignal are doing this week. We're very proud to be the Network Analytics Insights Partner for the Indian Mobile Congress. Tomorrow we are launching a Smart Cities Readiness Index, which is measuring in India. The Indian government has a Smart Cities program, and what we were asked to do is measure the quality of experience of those smart cities. And we're very proud to be publishing the results of that ranking tomorrow. Also, we are publishing a India Mobile Network Experience Report, which will be published during this week, which is measuring the network experience in India. If you go to our website, and I'm happy to provide the information, you will probably find similar reports. Indeed, I expect you'll find reports for your country on our website, which will show what we currently or recently have collected in terms of mobile network experience in your country. And then what we also do is, because we're a global organization, we're able to collect data in different countries. And so what increasingly we're asked to do is, how do countries compare in terms of their quality of experience, to help understand, okay, where are the countries who may be slightly further ahead? What are they doing that we want to consider for our country? And also, if your country is doing super well, or your operators are doing well, is, okay, sharing that experience with other countries as well. And so an example of that is this week, in partnership with the GSMA, we'll be publishing analysis comparing two of the BRICS member countries, India and Brazil, on their 5G spectrum strategies, by measuring the quality of experience of both of those countries. So it's an example of the type of analysis that we do provide. So I'll pause there, and thank you very much for attending, and I'm open to any questions. Thank you very much. Oh, we have a question. Thank you. It's always brave to be the first person with the question, so thank you.
Hello. So my question is regarding this digital readiness index. So how we are going to measure the digital readiness of any city or any area? Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your question. So what we do is, as I described, is we gather data over a period. In this case, I think it was a 6-month period. So since the early part of this year, and we measure the customer experience, collating the data through their use of the mobile network to their device. And then we have a number of metrics that we measure against. So in this ranking, you will see how they measure on the consistent quality of the experience, the reliability of that network experience, and also we do a measure on speed as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you for the information. When you collect data and you rank the cities or the quality of experience, user might have used certain options in his handset. So he might have disabled 5G or 4G, so forcing the device to be on 2G or 3G. So the experience collected from that device might not represent the capabilities, but maybe user have chosen certain features to be disabled. How will you collect that from the device?
So we measure actually their experience, and we can see what network they are using, what technology they're using. So for example, if they're in country and they've switched off their phone and they're just using Wi-Fi networks, which is often common, we see that. If they're using 2G or 3G networks, we'll see that. If they're using 4G and 5G, we'll see that. Not just for people who are a customer of a mobile network in the country, we also can see that when people are doing international roaming as well. And recently we actually published a report comparing international roaming experience and with the experience in country. And we can see in that report what networks they're using, especially if they're a roaming customer. So we can, and I'm very happy to share that report, which shows that type of analysis.
So your code is embedded in certain applications, which allows you to collect the information, but that will collect while the app or that code is running. When it's not running, when the app is not running, and the device, so device-related information is also collected?
Yes.
And would that require some authorization from the user that these
Yes.
aspects are being collected?
Absolutely. But one thing I can do is, if you're happy to take, have another conversation on
Sure.
the side, I
Sure.
can bring my technology colleague to join us, and he can
Okay.
give you a bit more
Okay.
information.
Thank you. Thank you for the information.
Thank you very much for your questions, and appreciate you coming, and I wish you a very good day. Thank you.